foster son?
A foster son for about a year now.
Okay.
I've been in foster care for probably about 4 years.
All right.
And I just, recently got adopted a year ago. I kind of considered myself more or less his son before when I got there, because it get us a little while to get used to each other, and then we really grew real close together.
Yeah. I really want to be careful not to either condescend or invade your privacy, but there's something interesting here that you guys may not have thought about. Those of us who became natural parents had absolutely no damn training in how to deal with it, what to do. At least foster parents get some understanding of what that relationship is, what that role is, and what parenting is really all about. Al, did you find some insights in the training that you had never really had when you were the father of your
I
own?
definitely did, and my son was younger, and dealing with teenagers obviously is totally different than dealing with any other age group. And I had taken some classes on my own to try to further my knowledge, but the classes through DES were definitely beneficial, although they can't cover everything, obviously.
Oh, no, and nobody could define all the emergencies, questions, situations, problems that might come up.
I'm still learning.
Yeah. Are you?
Absolutely.
Continuing education.
Definitely.
As part of this. Okay. Tony, what values have you found being connected with the Nieto family? What has been the best dividend for you of having become part of this family?
What do you mean by that?
What's been most valuable to you in personal terms to have been part of a group that you weren't connected with before, but that has the circle of being a family around it?
Well, I've never really had that. I've never really had a family until I came here. And now it's like he's a mom and a dad at the same time. And he really cares for us, cares for everyone that comes into his home.
That's really neat. Is that a welcome atmosphere for you? It must be. Okay. I appreciate it. As I say, I want to be careful not to invade people's privacy. Michael, you mentioned some acquaintance meetings, chances for people to learn about this opportunity. I think I have a list here of some meetings coming up that might be useful to remind people of, for those who might want to consider the prospect of being up front. Do you have the same list, or do you have it all in your head?
Well, I may not have the dates exactly correct, but I do give 4 meetings a month, and they're spread around the valley. So the people on the west side,
I will help you. I trapped you with. I wanted to hear you recite room numbers and everything, but you couldn't quite do that. Tuesday, June 23rd, Maryvale Mall, community room number 2, and that's at 53rd and West Indian School. All of these are from 7 to 9 p.m., so you can just fasten that figure. On Monday, the 6th of July, at the Mesquite branch of the Phoenix Public Library at Paradise Village Parkway North, near Paradise Valley Mall. Tuesday, July 14th, the Cholla branch of the Phoenix Public Library, that's at Metro Parkway East, Metro Center. You really make it easy for people to get to where you are, don't you? Thursday, July 23rd, in the East Valley at the Mesa Public Library, which is at 64 East 1st Street in Mesa. And Monday, July 27th at Maryvale Mall again, in Community Room 2 at 5220 West Indian School. What happens during those 2 hours? Al, were you at one of these? No, you found out from the other media. What happens, Michael, at these 2-hour acquaintanceship or familiarity meetings?
Well, actually, Al has helped me at the meetings in the past. He's come and talked about his experiences in the program. And what it is, it's a 2-hour, really comprehensive A to Z informational meeting about foster parenting, about child protective services, the way children come into the system, what the goals are, the rights and responsibilities of foster parents. I talk about all of the agencies of the Kids Consortium, because, see, all the agencies have their own little specialties, and instead of someone who is interested in foster parenting having to go from one agency to another agency to another agency until they find the agency that best meets their needs, I describe all of the agencies in one place at one time and leave it up to the foster parent.
It's a one-stop shopping center, in effect, for people to understand.
It's basically an information and referral type meeting, and from there, people can be referred directly on to training if they wish to become foster parents.
Okay, okay. The process can begin as soon as that meeting concludes then.
Probably the other really valuable part of the meeting is that I will answer any questions that anyone asks about any part of the system. I was a caseworker working in child abuse and child neglect for 8 years prior to recruiting, so I've experienced it from the other side too.
Yeah, okay. Al, that must be useful to you in your caseworker role to at least apply some of the human dynamics that you see operating in your professional field to your parent. Is that a fair assessment?
It definitely is. It gives you an inside edge to see it from both sides. You also learn how to work the system, which is definitely an advantage.
Okay. Mark, we keep hearing these guys over here use the word system, and I'll ask you a very blunt question. How did you enter the system? What led you to the potential for having a foster parent?
My parents. I'd moved. My parents had a separation. I moved from my dad and then back to my mom, and my mom just couldn't, take care of me and my sister.
Okay, and so you became a potential for foster. That must be really neat to find another family at a time that you really need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. We talked about system. We're really talking about human beings interacting. That word system conjures up all kinds of stacks of papers and in and out boxes and computers.
Well, it does involve that too.
It does that, but there's really some humanity at the base of all this, and I think that's maybe what we really
it's interesting how you have to integrate systems with human situations. That's why when I said that at least through kids it becomes flexible. We try to be very flexible to meet the needs of the children and meet the needs of the families, and actually the goal in foster care is to get the child back to the biological family. So we're really having to deal with a lot of different aspects of a large system.
Yes. Yeah. Good of you to define that, and we'll spread that out a little bit, but halfway through this program we've got to pause, and we'll do that on this special for Kids' Sake edition of Arizona 87 by pausing briefly for these messages. Of 11 agencies, private, community agencies, and government agencies as well. Michael, time for your morning test. Name the members of the consortium. It doesn't have to be alphabetical, Michael. This time just do it in whatever order strikes you.
Okay. The member agencies in kids are Arizona Baptist Children's Services, Christian Family Care, Phoenix Catholic Social Services, East Valley Catholic Social Services, Florence Crittenton Services, Prehab of Mesa, Duran and Associates, Black Family and Child Services, the Human Resource Training, which is the Parent Therapist Program, DES, Division of Developmental Disabilities, and the DES Administration for Children, Youth, and Families, which most people know as Child Protective Services.
He did it. He got them all. That's not bad at all. Tony, during our break, you said something that was both interesting and appalling at the same time, about the fact that you could almost handpick members of your family out of the teenage population. Tell us what you meant by that and why it's disturbing at the same time that for you.
It's disturbing to me in the fact that there are not enough homes for teenagers, and I'm afraid that the word teenager conjures up all these horrible thoughts, and I can't deal with the fear of the unknown, and in some cases maybe it is difficult. When I have an opening in my home, which of late is a rare occasion, I can literally handpick a child simply because there are so many